Hi everyone, it's HailHeidi again. Today we are watching or reacting to Is Norway the best country in the world to live in? And I'm not gonna lie, in the title, after it says that, it says no. And so I'm like, wait, it's not the best country? And then I realized it's no for Norway. So that was a slight little change of mind that I had to adjust. But this was put out by the Geography Bible 6 months ago, so I'm excited. By the way, I do have a cough drop in my mouth. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you don't hear it much or notice it very much, but my cough is acting up again, so here we are. I am excited to watch this because I've been meeting a lot of wonderful people from Norway. I hear a lot of good things about Norway. And so if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe and come see me on Twitch. I would love to meet you. And let's do this.
The Human Development Index measures each country's social and economic development by focusing on the following 4 factors: the average years of schooling, expected years of schooling, life expectancy at birth, and gross national income per capita. This then gives each country a score. The closer to 1 you are, the better the living standards generally are in your country. So at 0.957, Norway is the highest ranking country on Earth. But what exactly does this mean? And just how great of a place is Norway to live? So first things first, let's take a look at how other countries from around the world rank in the HDI index. The USA, although technically the richest country on Earth, ranks in 17th place, just below Canada. Hong Kong, although a special administrative region of China, is the highest ranking in Asia, in 4th place, with a score of 0.949. Australia is the highest ranking country in Oceania, in equal 8th place, alongside the Netherlands. Chile is the highest ranking country in Latin America, in equal 43rd place. And finally, Mauritius is the highest ranking African country, in 66th place. Over the last 5 years, Hong Kong, Ireland, Kazakhstan and Georgia are the highest risers, all rising 7 places each. Denmark, Norway's Nordic brother, is the biggest loser, falling 6 places over the last 5 years.
Ooh.
So at just 5.5 million, Norway is a relatively small country in terms of population size. This actually makes it the 118th most populated country on Earth. However, when it comes to economy size or GDP, they punch well above their weight. At over $500 billion, they rank as the 27th largest economy in the world, placing them above the likes of Nigeria, Thailand and Egypt, who have a population 40, 14 and 21 times larger. The reason why Norway is so wealthy is that it is an incredibly resource-rich country, paired with a resourceful population who has been able to exploit these resources. From the Viking Age, they had a shipbuilding industry based on ample forests and impressive shipbuilding skills. The long coast has always offered vast amounts of fish of the highest quality, which today is farmed and exported around the world. And most recently, the discovery of oil and gas off their coast has led to them being in the top 10 oil exporters in the world. And of course, we all know oil equals large amounts of cash.
USA knows that.
Okay, so let's hop into our first point. Norway's high salaries. Norway ranks as having the 7th highest average salary in the world at around $56,000.
Oh, so United States is actually ranked for the highest salaries in the world. That's something. That's good. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Around 560,000 Norwegian krone. Corruption. With a score of 85 out of 100, Norway is the 4th least corrupt country in the world. It is worth noting that the 3 countries above Norway are all equal first, with 88 points. This is Denmark, Finland and New Zealand. Education. As someone who gathered around £40,000 worth of debt due to student loans, this one kind of makes me jealous. Public universities in Norway do not charge students tuition fees, regardless of the student's country of origin. This is a very unique opportunity to obtain a degree at a quality university at no cost, and one of the many reasons why Norway has become an attractive country for foreign students. Prisons. Prisons in Norway are notoriously, well, how do I put it? Nice. I often see posts on social media or videos where the prison cells actually look better than some of the hotels that I've personally stayed in around the world. The idea behind this is that if you treat a human, even if they are a criminal, like a human instead of dirt, they are more likely to reform and able to be reintroduced back into society. Natural disasters. Norway doesn't really have to worry about any extreme weather or natural disasters. It does not experience earthquakes, hurricanes, typhoons, or droughts. Although the weather is not perfect for most of the year in Norway, there is no extreme weather that puts lives at risk. Life expectancy.
Wow.
At 83.2 years, Norway ranks as having the 4th highest average life expectancy in the world. Only South Korea, Singapore, and Japan have a higher life expectancy. This means that the Norwegians have the highest average life expectancy in Europe. English speaking. Now, of course, with me being English myself, I may be a little biased with this one. However, it is globally accepted that English is the language of business. It is the most widely spoken language on the planet. Norway ranks as the country with the 3rd highest proficiency in English, only behind Sweden and the Netherlands. Not only does this give Norwegians an advantage when it comes to business and global communication, but if you are moving there from a different country and speak some English or fluent in it, you would likely have a common language to speak to the locals with. Press freedom. Norway ranks as number 1 in the world for Press Freedom Index. The Press Freedom Index is an annual ranking of countries compiled and published by Reporters Without Borders since 2002, based upon the organisation's own assessment of the country's press freedom records in the previous year. It intends to reflect the degree of freedom that journalists and news organisations have in each country, and the efforts made by authorities to respect this freedom. Norway is arguably one of the most beautiful countries on earth.
It is.
Now, this doesn't particularly make it an objectively better place to live, as there are many beautiful countries around the world that aren't so great to live in. However, being a naturally beautiful and picturesque country certainly helps, in addition to everything else we've listed in this video. The Mother's Report. Norway ranks as 2nd in the world for the Mother's Report Index. Only its Nordic brother, Finland, ranks higher. The World Mother's Report is an annual report by Save the Children USA, which compiles statistics on the health of mothers and children, and uses them to produce rankings of more than 170 countries. The 2nd least fragile state. A fragile state has several attributes. Common indicators include a state whose central government is so weak or ineffective that it has little control over much of its territory, non-provision of public services, widespread corruption and criminality, and sharp economic decline. So for this, Norway is the 2nd best country in the world. Norway ranks as being the 3rd least polluted country in the world.
I love how all of these are European countries. Wow, good job.
Only beaten by its Nordic brothers, Iceland and Finland. Now, this goes without saying, but of course, living in a less polluted country does wonders for your health, which coincides nicely with the fact that Norwegians have the 4th highest life expectancy in the world. Norway's pollution levels takes us nicely onto our next point. Norway has the highest number of electric cars per person in the world, as well as the highest percentage of electric cars in new car sales. They stand at around 19 people per electric car, and nearly 75% of new car sales in Norway were plug-in electric vehicles in 2020. Now, this is slightly a far-fetched statistic to add to this video. However, the less internal combustion cars that are on the roads, the less air and noise pollution, which in turn makes a nicer place to live. So overall, Norway ranks as being the most developed country on Earth. It is rich, not overpopulated, is one of the least corrupt nations in the world, and offers its citizens a very high quality of life. Now, of course, Norway is not perfect. It does have many drawbacks. There isn't a single country on Earth that is perfect. For one, its climate isn't particularly favourable. Although during the summer months it is rather pleasant, it does see rather grim winters, especially when compared to other European nations such as Portugal and Spain. Norway also ranks within the top 10 for the most expensive countries in the world to live in. Now this is fine if you're rich, but if you're just scraping by or visiting as a tourist from a less developed country, you may find it eye-wateringly expensive. Due to its geographical position on Earth, Norway experiences some very undesirable amounts of sunshine, either too little or too much. For example, during the month of June, the sun can rise before 4 AM and set close to 11 PM, giving nearly 19 hours of daylight. On the other hand, in December, the sun may not rise until after 9 AM and just set after 3 PM, meaning you will likely go to work or school in the dark and return home also in the dark. This lack of daylight can lead to depression and, of course, vitamin D deficiency. So there we have it. Norway is the most developed country on Earth, but is it the greatest country in the world to live in? Let us know your thoughts below. As always, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. It is 100% free, and you can always unsubscribe at the click of a button.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks again for watching, and we will see you very soon in the next video.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, it is true that even here in the US, in certain places, well, during the winter time, like I'm from Utah, USA, and yeah, during the winter time, if you have like a 9 to 5 job, you'll go to work in the dark and get out of work in the dark. So that's not super uncommon, but 9 to 3 is definitely shorter, but maybe just by a couple of hours. I love it. That's very interesting. I do have a hard time with the cold weather sometimes, but if I have good clothing on and like good shoes, a hat, things like that, then I'm a lot happier in the cold weather. I'm learning that about myself. I just don't really have good clothes. So I think I'd be okay. I'm just imagining if I were to move there. But I did forget that it's pretty expensive to live there. So I'd have to look into that. But I definitely want to visit sometime. And maybe I could experience it for myself before I could actually say, oh, it's the best place to live in or not. But I'm really glad that people like it there. I'm glad that they're doing well. Pretty interesting that some of those lists of some of those rankings, you didn't even see the US on some of them. Sometimes we're not doing very well at certain points, which is funny just because of the whole mindset of the US is the best country in the world. It's awesome to see videos like this going out that say US is not. You know, I wonder how many people from the US have seen this video. Hopefully more will see it from this channel. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. What your experiences are in Norway. I'd love to hear those too. And then I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.